On this week's show, Jeff Johnston checks out the new truck show in Portland, Oregon, looking for a new tow vehicle. Then, Michelle and Laurie visit the Bay View Campground on Cape Cod for a few days of relaxation at this peaceful location. Also, Jeff Johnston, our tech expert, shows us his surefire way of getting a campfire going quickly. Later, if you're considering restoring a vintage trailer, then check out part 1 of our 4-part series with Mark and Don Polk from RV Education 101 as they take us through the stages of restoring their 1967 Yellowstone vintage trailer. Rollin on TV is sponsored by Carefree of Colorado, celebrating over 45 years of RV awning innovation. Closed captioning, where available, is sponsored by Forest River. Begin the journey.
Greetings, I'm Jeff Johnston for Rollin on TV. Regular viewers of our show probably are familiar with our little Nissan truck. This little Frontier has been a dynamite vehicle, 100% rock solid reliable, and it's a darn good tow vehicle for trailers that are lightweight, like under 3,500 pounds or so. Well, that situation may change, and there's some things that we have to consider about the size of this little truck. Well, as good as this little truck has been as a tow vehicle, and it's been fantastic, things could get a little bit better. 3,500 pounds is not a great rating to handle any of the larger vehicles, obviously. So in order to consider our other options and look at maybe upsizing a little bit, we're going to take a hike up to the Portland Auto Show and see what they've got to offer for new vehicles. You can go online, you can visit the car dealerships and whatnot, but go to an auto show and it's all the brands in one place at one time. It's a great place to look around at new options, and we're looking forward to the trip. We're here at the Portland International Auto Show. We're going to take a look around and show you a few of the new interesting things that might be of interest to those who would like to tow a trailer.
And this is the 2020 Silverado 1500, so it's the most advanced and powerful Silverado yet. There's a lot of options here on the new 2020 Silverado. You have 8 trim choices. Right here we have the LTZ, so there's a lot of different chrome accents here. And in sticking with choices, we have 6 engine options, including a 3.0 liter turbo diesel. So that'll get you about just under 400 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. But we know that towing is a big focus. So right here, this baby can get you about 13,000 pounds to tow. And also what's really great is the in-vehicle trailering technology that we have in the Silverado. We have 15 camera views that can help you easily hook up to anything you're looking to tow. And it really makes it easy for those that are familiar with towing that need a little extra help and those who have never towed before. So the Silverado comes equipped with all the bells and whistles and all the things that everyone's looking for in terms of technology. You have 4G LTE Wi-Fi connectivity, you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and there's also a ton of safety features including rear seat reminder and also teen driver, which if you'd like your teen to take out your new Silverado, you can monitor their driving habits to make sure they're making safe choices on the road.
Yeah, so Jeff, 2020 Ram truck, this is a Laramie. Late last year, late 19, the light duty diesel came back into the truck market for us. It's a VM Motori, it's a 3-liter V6, 260 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque. In a 4x2 model, you're getting up to 32 miles per gallon. In a 4x4 model, you get up to 29 miles per gallon. Now the trucks you can get a 33-gallon gas tank, so you guys can figure the math out and do a little math, and you get close to 1,000 miles in range on this thing. So for the truck owners, monstrous amounts of efficiencies and range for the people that are looking for that. Also on these EcoDiesels, you can get a tow rating of up to 12,500 pounds. So the truck, not only does it get the good efficiency, but it still works super hard. And again, It's Ram 1500, so things like the coil suspension, so class-leading ride and handling, the best infotainment, 12-inch screens, the Uconnect 4, so Wi-Fi hotspots. When it comes to safety, you've got things like adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitors and cameras. So whether it's safety tech, powertrain tech, you can even get this with a mild hybrid. If you're not into the diesel, you can get traditional gas, you can get a mild hybrid, or that diesel is an option. So with the Ram 1500s, there's basically a flavor for anything that you need.
Just recently, Nissan released the new Frontier engine. It still has the same body style as the normal Frontier that we've had for years, but now we're going to give you a little bit more power with the 3.8 V6 engine. That's going to give you about 310 horsepower. But new for 2020, we've included the 9-speed transmission that goes along with the V6. So the tow rating for the Nissan Frontier is around 6,300 pounds, which is fantastic for a mid-sized truck level.
If you're looking for a tow vehicle with a tremendous fun and adventure quotient, the Jeep Gladiator pickup is an interesting option. And the new Mojave Edition bumps up the adventure capability a little bit more.
If you notice, the badge tells the whole story. It's the first ever desert rated vehicle for Jeep. We have trail rated vehicles, and desert rated is a natural extension for what going a little bit beyond trail rated. Hugely important for Jeep and with the Gladiator and we talked about this I think last year, 100% truck, 100% Jeep. So it's going to have the Jeep capability, the open air, doors come off, the top comes off, all of that, but it's got to work as a truck. And so it's still 6,000 pound towing, 1,200 pound payload. We're getting ready to launch. The diesel will be available later this year. I haven't looked and I don't know if I don't think we've said if it's going to be in here or not. Just I know that the 3-liter diesel motor that is in the Wrangler, that 3-liter will be in Gladiator later this year.
Stop by your local auto show for a great look at many of the exciting new tow vehicles available today. Well, that was fun. We enjoy going to an auto show, get to take a look at a lot of new products, new technologies, and so on. The window stickers are a little bit scary, to say the least, so I think maybe we'll stick to our little used Nissan here for a while. Now, if you're in the market for a new tow vehicle of any kind, an auto show is a great place to take a look at a lot of products in one place.
Aquacam toss-ins. So fast and easy to use, it could seem like a game. Someone once said, the camping doesn't really start until the RV awning comes out. Whoever said that really knew what they were talking about. Carefree of Colorado, celebrating 45 years of RV awning innovation. For more information, visit our website at carefreeofcolorado.com. Join Rollin on TV in supporting care camps to ensure that children with cancer can experience the healing power of camping at these special oncology camps. If you've never heard of care camps, now's the time to visit our website and learn all about this great organization and the work they do for these deserving children. Also, stay tuned and see how you can win a specially customized 2021 Morris River Nobo travel trailer with the proceeds going directly to care camps. To learn all about care camps and how you can win this Super Nobo, visit RollinOnTV.com.
Hi, I'm here with Dave Ritchie of Bay View Campground in Bourne, Massachusetts.
This is right at the beginning of the Cape, right over the Bourne Bridge on the other side of the canals. We're right off of Route 28, which is a major highway that goes down to Falmouth. My father-in-law, Gardner S. Nightingale, he was a police officer here in the town of Bourne, and the Second World War broke out, and any patriotic young man at the time, he enlisted in the Army, but he always knew he wanted to do something, so while he was overseas, he would send money back to his mom, and he would ask her to buy parcels of land. By that time, he had purchased up to 98 acres of land here on the Cape, this section here. Because this area here had a lot of natural vegetation, apples, peaches, pears. So he started the fruit stand right here at the front. 66, he started the campground, but before that, he had the fruit stand that he tried. There was a friend of his out in Maple Park over in Wareham, Paul Tusey. And Paul owned a small campground there, and he said, well, you're on this side of the canal, I'm on that side of the canal, why don't you try starting a campground? Their first night that they opened, there were 30 sites. And he made it all with that little machete.
How many sites are there now, David?
Now there's 468 sites.
And check out these temperature-controlled pods where tenters can kick it up a notch.
The main building here is one of the original buildings of the grounds. And we added to it as we expanded. The ice cream parlor he wanted something a little different, and ice cream was perfect. So we gave it the 1950s look of a old-fashioned ice cream parlor. Everything is geared for family participation together. We tried to shuffleboard. We have full-size shuffleboard, and we also have kid-size shuffleboard. So now you can play with the little ones if you want to. A lot of the arcade machines, getting back into the rec hall, is competition. You want to have a competition with. The mother can play with the son, father and daughter, so on and so forth.
Another story you brought up that I think very interesting. There are no bugs here.
Yes.
How come there are no bugs here?
My daughter, when she was going to college, she also did some agricultural studies, and what we found was that bugs, mosquitoes, whatever, lay their larvae in the leaves in the woods.
The dead leaves on the ground.
On the ground. They try to get them under the leaves because it's moist and it helps with the larvae to hatch when the rain and such comes out. But I just said, well, let's just rake everything. And that's what we did. We raked the sites, between the sites, and the embankments. The main part of the grounds, which is approximately 60 acres, is completely raked from fence to fence. And it seemed after the years, well, we eliminate the bugs.
And your sites are quite large, too.
We didn't know it at the time when Gardner and I were expanding the grounds. We just went by a plain footprint of 50 by 50. 50 feet deep, 50 foot wide. And we went by the topo or the configuration of the land. If you notice, the grounds is in different tiers. So we used the topography of the land and we developed it in different tiers. And we went by the land. So if you notice, some of the roads are very windy and we just went with the land. We planted over 30,000 little seedlings throughout the campground. We just kept planting these little seedlings all over, trying to replenish. Some of the sites, you'll see, there's a big tree right in the middle of it. We tried to accommodate that old tree in the middle instead of just taking it down and making room for bigger rigs. We tried to accommodate.
How many staff members do you have?
We have 50 during the summertime, and then we have 7 full-timers, of course, summer and winter.
From here, you can go deeper into the Cape, so there's a lot of things families can go off and do.
An hour from Boston, we're an hour from Providence, Rhode Island, and we're an hour from P-Town. Just keep going. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
From off-the-road adventure camping to luxurious full-time RVing and everything in between, Forest River has the RV to fit your needs, budget, and outdoor lifestyle. To see our full line of trailers and motorhomes, visit forestriverinc.com. Forest River. Begin the journey. At Norcol, we realize that some of your favorite RV destinations are off the grid. And Norcol refrigerators are uniquely designed with that RV experience in mind. We call it Freedom Unplugged. To learn more about our Norcol RV refrigerator line or to find a dealer near you, visit our website at norcol.com.
Well, it's campfire time again, and I, for one, am really glad for it. Been a long winter, but getting started in the spring means sometimes we wind up using firewood that's a little less than optimum. Maybe it's a bit wet or green or a little bit punky. Well, there's something you can do that can make starting up this fire a whole lot easier. Some people really struggle with that, use a lot of newspaper or starting fluid, even worse, something like that. But there's a really simple little tool you can make that helps you start a fire like this with one match every time. Let's take a look.
We're doing the project out on the driveway for fire safety reasons. We set up a double boiler arrangement for safety. The melting pot is a can with a wood handle screwed to it, and it's loaded with scrap candle chunks we've accumulated. The double boiler is critical when melting wax. While the wax melts, we set up the egg carton that we trim down to just the lower part. Use cardboard only. Do not use a styrofoam egg carton for this. We fill the carton with sawdust and wood shavings. Next up is pouring the melted wax into the sawdust-filled egg carton. No need to completely fill the cups, just enough to get the sawdust moist with wax is good. But if they're filled somewhat, that's okay too. After the wax cools, cut them up into individual cups and they're ready to pack into a storage bag. Keep away from heat or they'll try and recycle themselves. I start a fire with newspaper down first because the extra wax can melt and run all over. If it's on newspaper, it can still burn and help start the fire. Pile up your kindling, light the waxy starter, and you're on the road. The extra heat from the burning wax helps get even the most stubborn wood going.
Takes just one of these little fire starters. They're easy to store in your RV. Toss them in a compartment, and no matter what kind of wood you run into, dry, wet, maybe a little green and punky, one of these guys will get them started for sure. And you know, this isn't rocket science, but it's one of those things you learn in the Boy Scouts. Give it a try. Might make your camping a little bit easier.
Wow, am I glad I used Aquachem. Maybe chili wasn't the best idea.
Aquachem, the most powerful odor control available and the #1 seller for over 50 years. I know, you can't wait to get back out and enjoy some RVing. Well, how about on your next trip, you take a brand new GoPower portable solar power system with you? You can. Together with our partners at GoPower, we're giving away a portable GoPower system that includes a 130-watt portable solar panel, inverter, extension cords, and more. The contest starts April 5th, and to enter, just visit our website at rollinontv.com and click on the contest link.
Hi, I'm Mark Polk with RV Education 101. Several years ago, we restored a vintage 1967 Yellowstone travel trailer. Our goal with the restoration was to keep the original vintage look, but update it with modern day amenities found in today's RVs. This is how we did it. Let's start the journey with a little history on our vintage trailer. Our trailer is a 1967 Yellowstone Cavalier model. It is 13 feet long, or 16 feet if you measure to the front of the tongue. Based on some old advertisements I found, it weighed in at about 2,500 pounds. The interior height is 6 feet 2 inches and the overall width is 7 feet. Measured against today's standards, it's not very roomy, but back in the day, this was a pretty nice amount of space for a camping trip. We found our restoration project sitting in a backyard and we purchased it for $300. One important consideration when you purchase a vintage trailer like this is getting it home safely. The tires are typically old, weather damaged, and low on air. The lights probably won't work and the brakes probably don't work. We were prepared with what we needed to safely move the trailer, including the right size trailer ball and ball mount. But as a precautionary measure, I had Dawn follow me back to the garage in her vehicle. When you make the decision to restore a vintage travel trailer, you need to decide how in-depth the restoration you plan to do. A major factor in this decision is your budget. I restore classic cars and trucks as a hobby, and your budget determines if it will be a frame-off restoration, a less expensive restoration, or just an overhaul. One thing I can guarantee is you will end up investing more than you initially planned in the restoration. Let the demolition begin. The first stage of the restoration was the demo stage. We started by removing all of the windows. Our plan was to redesign the trailer's floor plan, so we were taking the interior down to the wood framing. This would give us a good idea of the extent of water damage there was to the wood. And this is a determining factor in whether the exterior metal can stay on the trailer or it needs to be removed. Sometimes water damage is easy to spot on a trailer, and other times it's difficult to detect. Almost any vintage trailer you find will have water damage to some extent. The question is, how much damage are you willing to deal with in the restoration? When I initially inspected this trailer, it seemed like a good candidate for restoration, but the truth will be told when you demo the trailer. The further we got into the demo stage, the more I realized we were probably going to remove the metal and take the trailer down to the bare frame. This would be comparable to a frame-off restoration on a car. Something to keep in mind as you demo the trailer that will help later in the restoration is to remove interior panels in one piece if possible. That way you can use the old pieces as patterns to cut the new pieces, especially where curves are involved. When it was all said and done, we made the decision to remove all of the exterior metal because of the extent of water damage that we found. Be careful when you remove the exterior metal in the event you need to reuse it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to tackle a project like this, but I do think you need to have some idea of the sequence of events you would like the restoration process to follow. My preliminary thoughts were to start disassembling the trailer to see how deep some of the damage goes. And here we are. Try to stay a step or two ahead of things and have a plan for all of the various scenarios you might encounter. So the first step was to identify and remove all the damaged wood and start the process of reframing the trailer. This is an important stage, especially if you're changing the original floor plan like us, and you need to plan where the windows will go, what size and shape they are, and other considerations like where the refrigerator will go, where the water heater will go, and other things like exterior storage compartments. As we demoed the trailer, I noticed most of the original framing was secured with nails. When we made repairs to the wood frame, we used coated screws that I had left over from another project. I also used metal strapping at most of the joints in the wood framing for added support. It's a good idea to put the metal strapping over areas where you run wiring too, so you don't accidentally put a screw into the wiring when you put the wall panels back on. If you want things to hold together, your best bet is to glue it and screw it for longevity. This was a good point in the demo stage to remove the old metal roof and inspect the condition of the roof framing. The metal roof was easy to remove after all of the nails and roof accessories were removed. We just pulled it all off in one piece. As it turned out, some of the roof framing needed to be replaced as well. You'll notice the roof framing is tapered, which assists in water running off the roof as opposed to being flat. This is what the trailer looked like after most of the wood framing was completed. That's a pretty good start to our restoration project. Join us next time when we start the rough-in wiring and start working on our new floor plan design. We'll see you then.
We hope you enjoyed this week's show. For more information on anything you've seen on the program, along with additional videos, stories, and news, plus some great contests, visit our website at rollinontv.com. And remember, you can also watch Rollin' on TV on Roku, Amazon Fire, Vimeo, and YouTube, as well as on any of our station's streaming media services. For complete coverage information, click on the Where to Watch link on our website. As usual, this has been another fun production.